Hi, everybody.
Welcome to, I don't know, what would this be? Would this be season 3, episode 2, or is this really, it's a reboot? So really S1, E2.
I would almost, I mean, it is a rebranding of the Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches, which has now become Three Lawyers the Podcast. We're still going to eat sandwiches,
So it's season 1.
I feel like it's season 1. It's a new thing.
I do too.
And we're going to eat sandwiches, but I think we're also going to expand and cover way more fun stuff than just food. Am I wrong? Do we have any other fun?
I think fun is subjective. Of meat and bread.
And we also, we did have an episode 1 that we did, but we didn't like how it came out.
Oh, was it bad?
Well, you know what? It was the audio, even though our guy's supposed to be an audio expert.
But did you feel the topics?
No, I thought it was good.
I never heard it.
No,
I think.
It was sent to you, but I think that the problem was the echoing.
I heard it.
I think the set in the Airstream was very echoey. A lot of hard surfaces. We had less. Fine microphones.
How was the?
It was good. I think it was good.
The conversation was good, but
this conversation isn't. But that
with you being remote for
yes.
it was not smooth and fluid.
And it was weird. We were staring at you on a table, and then sometimes you were behind us. But it's great. This is great.
This is a beautiful set.
Hopefully not till my autopsy. We'll be staring at me on the table.
I'm glad you mentioned the set. I love the set. I think it's really great.
Beautiful.
I think there's stuff we can do. People will
I think
watch
you were
the
smart
progress.
to wear white. I think you probably are popping on this set.
Pop, yeah.
I wasn't
Like
thinking
a
about it. I wore
firecracker.
blue. You wore blue.
I didn't. No one told me.
I look like a floating head. Do
I got a
look like
question
a floating
for you.
head?
I know we know roughly, but do we know exactly what the name of this podcast is?
Now, for me, and maybe the audience wants to weigh in, but I like Three Lawyers, the podcast. Like when they do like so-and-so, the musical.
Okay.
Sister Act, the musical. Three Lawyers, the podcast.
You don't think we need Three Lawyers Eating Sandwiches because we established that brand?
Well, I think we start that way, by talking about sandwiches. And, I don't want to spoil any surprises, but I believe that we're going to be trying some pretty awesome stuff today in just a little bit.
That's what I hear.
But I want to have an umbrella wide enough so that we don't have our hands tied to sandwiches. I love sandwiches, but I don't want to be tied to sandwiches.
Yeah. I got a good name. What if we call ourselves the podcast Joe Rogan Watches?
You are obsessed.
He's the most.
But that's more of a catchphrase than Three Lawyers.
And I got to tell
podcast.
you, I watched that Joe Rogan podcast. I have nothing against it, but it just seemed like just a regular interviewing podcast, just a one-on-one interview.
He has interesting topics that people, controversial stuff,
and he's
good. He falls for everything.
Does he? Well, so do I. I'm the easiest person to sell on anything. Any theory that sounds remotely viable, I think.
He buys it. Yeah. He buys it.
I could see that.
It's worth exploring. I mean, listen, what do we really know?
Does he buy it, or is he just being an objective interviewer and asking the questions?
You'd have to know.
You know what? He's a smart guy, so I don't think he really buys everything. I think he's just being
a showman. He's doing a show.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be interesting to the audience and people. There's no sense getting some loon on a show and then just shutting him off.
Exactly.
Right.
The point is trying to understand even the people that, the more extreme they seem, the more curious I become to figure out what's behind all of this.
Right.
What's the thinking there?
We'll see, won't we?
Well, we're going to bring in some lunatics, aren't we? Isn't that part of the plan? It's not going to end with just the three of us.
Isn't enough. You know what?
If we're able to get that guy from the hospital to let out a few people, yes, we're going to get the crazies.
No, listen. I want them. I want the crazies. I want to understand where they're coming from.
Remember, we have no defense against them. If they're here, the people over there could get to us before any of us could do anything.
It's funny you say that.
I don't worry about it because I figure you'd be the main target.
No, I swear to you, about an hour ago, I went across the street, and I'll show you some pictures. I was just looking for things over there that may be good on the wall behind the set. And I don't know if you remember, but I used to like to bring an oversized knife to cut the sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
sometimes.
I was going to have some hooks, like a little thing here where I could get a big knife.
I could bring in my sword.
Perfect. And then it's just
Yeah.
And then it goes from no defense to I wish he would.
Really? Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's not a terrible idea. I have 2 guns in my car. Should I bring those in?
Yeah,
just under the table.
Just definitely
pointing
bring
that
them
way.
in.
They're not towards Stephen or Jen. Anyway, should we eat?
We
should.
Because I like how fast we can get a tragedy going.
Well, you know what? I think we should bring in our special guests.
Oh, we have special. Oh,
as long as they're bringing food.
I thought
if they're not bringing food, then they're not special.
I thought
then
those were
guests.
those sex dolls. You know,
I
mean, they didn't even move.
Listen, I can understand.
No,
Terry, I'd like to know where you're buying your sex dolls.
You know what's funny? Who was it? Somebody was saying their kid needed transportation, but only as a permit. And I was recommending getting one of those very realistic dolls, a real doll, putting it in the passenger seat, and then their kid can just drive on the permit.
Wasn't that a Seinfeld episode?
There was,
but not so the kid could drive on a permit. Now this is also.
I think that was for safety and security.
This is a joke. This is not legal advice.
Okay.
It's like when you have those financial people who are like, "This is not financial advice."
No, but this is financial
this is not
advice,
but not legal advice.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, we got to.
Yeah, you may save a little gas, but no, don't do that.
That said, and when we go to eat, you're going to see me take something out of my mouth.
Oh,
that
God.
I'm confident.
Boy, that's going to keep people watching.
You're going to have questions about it. You're going to wonder what the hell is in your mouth and why. Yeah. Should we cover that now?
No, I don't
or
think
do you want to wait
wonder.
till the food comes?
I think we're going to try to avoid looking at you as you do it.
Somebody bring
and then after you do it, I think we're going to try to avoid thinking about it.
Somebody bring me a trash can also.
I wouldn't assume any of those things.
It's actually Ed has a weak gag
you're the one who
reflex.
We were going to have a segment where
what's in my mouth is not disgusting.
I'll be the judge of that.
Right. I think there could be a different
Beauty
opinion.
is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, you know what? We started it. What's in your mouth?
Let's do it.
Okay, well, I have to take it out.
A dental appliance?
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, God. What is this? Oh,
this is a product called Grinds.
Gross?
Grinds.
Oh, grinds.
Yeah, like to grind something down. And it's actually used now by most Major League Baseball teams.
Is that caffeine pouch?
It is.
Wait, you are now chewing tobacco?
It's not. There's no tobacco in there.
It's caffeine?
It's coffee grounds. They're inside a little pouch, and they're flavored. And you wedge it between your cheek and your jaw.
You know what's fascinating? We're watching a man go crazy.
And it's just entertainment
before our eyes.
You know what?
This man is going crazy.
Say what you
Keep
will.
watching. By season 2.
Ever since I discovered this product,
yes,
it's first of all it's phenomenal for focus and energy.
Well, it's caffeine.
It's right. It's great for appetite suppressant.
You sure there's no nicotine in it?
There's no nicotine in it. It's not for smokers. It's not for people trying to quit smoking. It's for people that are trying to keep their mouth sort of moist, which was why ball players always did it, and farmers too. It's where chewing tobacco got its start, was to keep your mouth from going dry. This does the trick. I'm just saying it's delicious, and they do a lot of flavors. That's my new thing.
You know what? That's a big thing, is those pouches for nicotine delivery, caffeine, THC. And what's actually kind of fascinating about it is there are these things called Zins, and there's no tobacco; it's just nicotine. But it's become sort of this phenomenon, and there are on Instagram Zinfluencers, and who talk about it and joke about whatever. But what's fascinating about it is it seems to be a very politically conservative group of people who use Zins. And here's my other theory.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Wait, was the other one a theory?
I guess it's a theory, but you see a lot of these Zinfluencers seem to skew conservative, and one was interviewing Tucker Carlson.
Really?
Anyway, the other interesting thing about it, I totally forgot. I lost my train of thought. I
love you. You're my son. He's my eldest son.
At my daughter's,
and they're concerned about me going crazy.
No, I've heard
this is going to be the greatest show on
that
earth.
Vaping is down in young kids.
Good.
They don't see it. Well, no.
Oh,
I think what they're doing is they're zinning because it's way less detectable because it's just a thing in your
Is it
mouth.
tobacco?
It is not tobacco. It is just nicotine.
Is it like this in a little
Yeah,
pouch?
it's a little. Yeah, exactly.
These are just little
you
tiny
chew on
pouch.
it?
No, you do not chew on it. It just rests between your
cheek and your gum.
your cheek and your
if
gum.
you look, there's a guy named.
You'll run your tongue around it, and it
How
gives you
much
a wonderful
caffeine
flavor.
do you get? I mean,
You can get
it's like a cup of coffee, or is it like 10 cups?
This particular one is 50 milligrams.
Oh God.
But you can use it like half the day. It's not like it's not delivering it all at once, and it's not
Right.
like it's all going to come
is that
out.
a lot?
Well, I think a cup of espresso is, I want to say
3.
No, probably 40.
Well, the flavor that I like the best is called cinnamon roll, and that only has 25 milligrams
Yeah.
of caffeine.
Okay,
This is
so it's
double
like a
chocolate.
shot, a little less. You know, that
They're really
Panera
good.
drink, if we're allowed to say it, that everyone was talking about,
Uh-huh,
had like
yes.
400
Yep.
milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, that
Well,
killed
they
that
give
kid.
you a heart attack.
Yeah, it did. It killed a kid.
Yeah, I
now
think
they
it
don't
did.
sell it anymore. What was it called? Like electric lemonade or something?
Something.
I mean,
Slap your mama. I don't know.
Yeah, slap your mama lemonade. I don't know. Anyway, I had to take that out so we could eat. So now that it is out
Yeah,
and we've
well,
discussed
now
it thoroughly,
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid by them, but Grinds.
Does it?
Yeah.
Get
One of these
Grinds.
guys,
So
one of the
what do you-
influencers, a guy named Freezer Tarps, started a brand called Upper Deckies. That is, and you'll hear sometimes sports people throwing out these references. There's another guy, Daddy Wellness, and he'll do this thing, and you'll see people doing it. They're like becoming sort of these cultural phenomena. Anyway,
what was it? Wait, can you just repeat that for a second?
That actually hurt
Upper
my ears.
Deckies.
I know that. The
Oh,
part where
he-
you
oh,
made some
he goes,
weird.
yeah,
No,
he goes like this. He goes, see it.
See, yeah.
I don't know why.
A lot of strange
But the upper
people in this.
deckies are caffeine.
But I'm the one
pouches.
going crazy.
Caffeine pouches.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, let me tell you, this is
Time will tell.
This is it was a Shark Tank product. This was, as you know, I like to test out any product they have that looks remotely interesting, unless it's one of those crazy expensive
You own
ones.
what percentage of the items on Shark Tank?
Of the physical,
Ever.
yeah, I would say of the physical items.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of the stuff are like subscription services
Right,
and
right,
online
right.
software, but of the physical items, I
Right.
would say about 60%.
That's could be a world record.
I think I mentioned earlier. I'm an easy sale. I'm an easy target.
Yeah.
You know,
And
people,
how
I
much
want to
of
try
the-
it. I want to know if it's real.
How
It's
many
good.
things from the Ted Lasso merch site would you say I
Well,
have?
and unfortunately, I bought everything.
At
but
one point, it was 100%.
it was.
right?
And what's a shame is, as you recall, I was much heavier then. Everything I was buying off their site was 3XL.
Yeah.
So now I have no clothes and a nice closet of tablecloths.
There you go.
So that's what's left there. I can't wear any of it.
Are you guys are going to regret maybe having us eat your food and endorsing it?
Yeah, I don't
after
know.
They
This
just left.
this
why
might-
don't you guys come
That's it.
over?
Yeah,
Might
no, we should-
not make the
Yes,
business
let's
go
let's
through the roof.
introduce
No, here
them.
we got a couple
And
of good guys.
Let's figure
here.
out how we're going to do
We're
this.
gonna get a little closer. Logan and I are going to share this mic.
I sat next
No,
to you
he's
because I
got a
want
mic.
to try the grind.
Oh, you have a
Yeah.
mic, so we don't have to share one.
No,
You've
sharing.
got a wireless.
Here, let me. Is he in the frame?
You see, that's how organic this is.
There you go.
We just talk right.
Everyone's
to
in the frame?
Right,
We're
right
good?
To our producer. Let's introduce these guys.
I don't
This
know.
guy's Logan.
I'm Logan.
You're responsible for him over there.
I'm Corey.
Sorry.
Corey and Logan.
Corey. Well, I
There you
knew
go.
I knew them both, but I
And-
felt like he should introduce.
And what are
Corey, and I
your
was
what
gonna
are your
introduce Logan.
social security numbers?
Mother's
So-
maiden name?
Yeah.
Now, are you guys the owners of Press?
Owners of Press, thank God, because we used to be sex dolls, and that
That's right.
was fun, and then we decided to open a restaurant. But yeah, Owners of Press, we're at Jefferson and 44.
Okay.
And typically we do stuffed pizzas and pastas, but for lunch we started doing pizza sandwiches. Ooh. But they're not really sandwiches. They're not really tacos.
They're not calzones.
They're not
Do the,
calzone.
They're not really
opposite of the-
pizzas.
They're sort of a lot of things.
So is this something you created?
Yes.
Who is the baking cooking genius behind this, or are you both
We
kind
bake
of
and cook together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome?
Hand in hand.
How'd you guys meet each other?
At the Lucky Accomplice, which is the restaurant next door.
I'm the bar chef for both restaurants.
Oh,
Is
nice.
that right? Wow.
Wait, Jefferson and 44.
Yeah, it's right near. There's a McDonald's there. Johnny Brock's, I think, is very close.
Oh,
to there.
okay. Yeah,
Trader
yeah.
Bob's.
Our closest
What's that?
competition.
Trader Bob's.
Yes,
We're-
okay.
And
I know
Trader
where you're
Bob's.
at.
Now,
Right.
Trader Bob's. I've noticed you have a lot of tattoos, but you have not had any work done there, or you have.
Actually, yeah, this whole arm was done there, but the rest was done in other cities. And you got your rib cage done there, right?
Yeah. My very first tattoo was done at Trader Bob's.
Oh my God, we can't get started.
And then I used them for a couple, and that's where I met Matt Thornton, who had been there for like 15 years. He's done most of my work, but then he left there, and now he's with Amore, where Watson and Arsenal meet.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, I'm very excited. I've not been to your restaurant. I feel embarrassed to admit that, but I didn't even know it was there.
It's a little bit embarrassing, but...
You know what? Wait a second. I have been there. You're right next to Trader Bob's?
Well, 4 stores down.
Yeah, and that's like a coffee place.
Yeah.
there.
Is there a
Coffee and then
nightclub
us.
near
Oh,
there,
okay.
too?
I haven't been to you. I've been to the coffee.
They're like
What
a
coffee
nightclub
place?
or something.
What's the coffee place?
Coffee Sam, which is phenomenal too. You guys should check it out.
Really?
Spell
good.
that. Coffee.
I mean,
Sam, like
this
the
seems
name?
like a trick, but
Stamp.
COFFEE stamp, coffee stamp.
Stamp.
Stamp,
That was
sorry.
the word I
Yeah.
was.
By the
I thought
way,
it
you're a
sounded like Sam
damn
as
good
well.
speller.
Thank you.
That was just off.
My heart rate went
That
up
was
about
just off the top of your head.
I didn't even
yeah.
recognize what
Yeah.
word he was spelling until they got to the E's.
No, that was good.
Can that thing go in the trash, maybe?
Wait, can Corey, does he spell as well as...
We'll see. Can
How
you
do
spell stamp?
How do you spell
I think I
prairie?
can, let's see,
Spell
S-T-A-M-P.
prairie.
Is it still S-T-A-M-P?
No, prairie's
Still,
a
yes.
hard one. Prairie's a hard one. How do you
Prairie's a
spell
hard word.
prairie?
Prairie, I'm not
Eyes.
even going to put my hat in the ring for
Oh,
that.
P-R-A-R-I-E.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 2 I's. That's where people get lost on that.
Wait, 2 I's.
Yeah, because there's an I before the R and an I after the
I
R.
had to look up the word
P-R-A-I-R-I-E.
Oh, P-R-A-I? R-I-E?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it wrong.
All you got to do is picture the Prairie Farms milk jug. That's what I did, and I just saw it and I read it off of there.
Yeah, okay.
Can anybody spell Mississippi?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
He said
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
He said
M-I, crooked letter,
he said
crooked letter,
IPP. Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, there you go.
So tell us about what you
Wow.
brought with us to
Yeah.
try, because I have not eaten today,
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'm starving.
Yeah. So we have 5 pizza sandwiches that we offer at lunch, where we take the pizza dough, we push it out, we grill that off, and then we fill it with a bunch of stuff, and then sandwich it together.
But you were very quick to say, but they're not really sandwiches.
You'll see.
Are they like stromboli? I'm picturing a stromboli.
No,
Yeah,
that's more of a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
like a
wrapped in dough.
calzone.
Yeah, what's the
but
difference between a calzone
well,
and a
it sounds
stromboli?
like I'll let
stromboli
you
is not
tell me if I'm
enclosed.
right. You're cooking the bread is cooked first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then folded.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
As opposed to all of the ingredients being
Yeah.
cooked at the same
Who
time
thought
as a
of that?
calzone.
Can we see one of these?
what?
Who thought
I'm
of
really
that?
curious.
Calzone?
We'll cook it. You know, and it's more fun to say stromboli.
Stromboli is
That's
a good
true.
word.
It
Yeah,
is-
that's
it
a
is
better
smells
word.
good,
This
I'll
is
tell you that.
exciting. Let's
So-
see. Oh my. Okay.
So
I like
we
the
got our
logo.
menus in there,
what the-
lunch menu
Oh.
and dinner menu, and then
You know what? You don't have a knife, do you, by chance?
so those are all cut in half.
Oh,
not
there
in
you go.
threes. So
You're the best guest we've ever
Well,
had.
then, do you have a knife?
This is interesting. I'll tell you where
Go down
I
to
can
the
already
lunch?
tell you that there's something good brewing here. And let me tell you how I know this.
Tell me how you know.
Because on their meatball pizza sandwich, it has, of course, meatball.
Yeah.
It has tomato, it has arugula, it has Parmesan, but it has pickled peppers. And that tells me these people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
a little
that-
vinegar.
No, but
That's
see,
Peter
that's
Piper.
the thing is
Yeah.
not a lot of people would necessarily connect those two unless they had a very refined
So,
palate.
Peter
They know
got
how to do
Piper
it.
would.
We got,
He would have put it
What,
together.
what's
Yeah.
you want to? So in the egg,
and
you're not going to
Calabrian
like.
chili.
He hates egg.
I don't
Loves
eat eggs,
cooking
but-
eggs. Hates eating.
You
it.
like
yeah,
cooking?
that's all right.
I love cooking. I used to make you omelets all the time.
Jen, would you
Wow,
toss
yeah, you
that to me,
did.
please?
Jesus.
How quick?
Walk
I really
this
didn't
way.
think that it would be forgotten.
Yeah.
When I was
Thank
doing it, I
you.
thought it
It's
would be
like
remembered.
15, 20 years ago.
I just washed
I
my
remember.
So I
hands.
was
yesterday.
going to say.
I
I'm sort of the
I wasn't even the
official
recipient.
sandwich
scarred.
cutter here, self-proclaimed. What
This
do you
is-
want? What do you want to start
This
with?
is
that?
what I'm excited for. I want the
Meatball,
meatball
of
and the
course.
turkey. And then I love that you use Calabrian chili with the prosciutto. That's very
Yeah.
Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He puts it on everything. I think he does it to signal the judges.
what is it? Is
so
that
that
a-
they know which one is his dish.
Oh,
so that he
okay,
keeps winning.
I see
Yeah.
what this
What-
is.
Is that a pepper?
It's a Calabrian chili. I mean, it's
I mean,
pepper.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's a
Calabrian
Calabrian chili.
It's a
chili
chili from
pepper.
Calabria.
Yeah, that's actually, I think it's where it's from. All right, so that looks great.
I hope I'm
to look
getting
at it
meatball.
shape-wise, it does. It's sort of shaped like a calzone.
There's no meatball on that.
But
so
this
I'm
is
just gonna
what I like is it looks
out of
like
the
the
way.
dough is thinner,
see.
Yeah.
All right.
and it's not just filled
Tear,
with a ton
Ed,
of cheese.
anybody else want one?
let's not.
Yeah.
But
Or
let's not analyze it to death.
No, no,
There's
no.
only
We-
one
no, it's just
important
we gotta
thing.
do it to
Let's see
death.
what it tastes like.
No,
you guys,
no, no,
wait
no.
a
It
second.
needs to be
Hold it,
analyzed
hold
to
it.
death.
They ain't eating.
What?
Is this some kind of joke?
That's right.
You're trying to poison. You're not going to get me, pal. Look at, they're not even reaching in
No.
for a
I
They're
eat
not
one almost
interested.
every day. The turkey's my favorite.
Let's try.
If you hate it, we'll leave.
Why don't you go first?
Talk about how terrible it is. We'll come back.
On their first podcast episode, they were
Well,
poisoned.
I do like all the stuff on it.
Yeah,
That was good. That was good.
I would
meatball.
eat that. I would eat that
I just did.
any day.
Thank God. It was
Yeah,
stressful.
that's great.
That and the spelling thing really stressed me out, I gotta say.
But you handled it well.
The stakes are high.
Thanks.
You handled it better than any guest we've
And
ever
it's
had.
easier to
Yeah.
eat than a calzone. I mean,
like
you
a
really
taco.
can just eat
I'm
it
a
like a
mess here.
sandwich.
Can I get a napkin? Does anybody have a?
There's
napkin? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see what I mean,
disaster.
though. It's not really a sandwich. It's
what you'd
kind of a
expect from-
taco
Yeah.
thing.
I think it's a
You
sandwich.
do?
Thank you.
Oh, of course
That's great.
It's meat in between two pieces of bread.
Yeah,
One
we
piece
keep
of
it
bread.
simple.
No,
There
the
you
bread
go.
doesn't have to
folded.
be.
It's enveloped.
It's just the way the bread is full.
Now, where did
It's
you
very
get
good.
where did you get the idea from?
I don't know. We have pizza dough. We love our pizza dough. We just wanted to do something different for the lunch crowd. That's easy. I mean, these have been, truth be told, sitting around a little bit while we've been hanging out. But
Still good.
Something that travels well that we can do quickly and wrap up and just like pass off to people.
And easy to eat on the go.
Yeah.
I also find it does play. I can't say like St. Louis style pizza because it's not crispy, but it is very thin, which
Yeah.
I think is great.
Yeah.
Keep
What-
that carb count down.
Okay, he chose the meatball first. Why don't each of you choose? What's your personal favorite? Second to the meatball.
I like the turkey's really good. I
Turkey's
think
my
and the-
personal favorite.
Okay, so let's go turkey
I'm
next.
excited for the turkey.
Yeah.
Now the turkey has got roasted tomato.
Ugh, I'm
aioli.
so embarrassed. I
Aioli.
don't
Jen?
have
Yeah.
a good
Or if
knife
you're a
on
simple-
You got any
Simpleton
sodas
mayonnaise.
there or
Yes,
something,
you know,
or
but-
water or
And
something?
then you've got bacon,
Yeah.
iceberg lettuce.
See, we don't have
Yeah.
to
And
keep it
Fontina
a
cheese.
secret
Yeah.
that we have people here filming us.
No, no.
And
we
would this
include 'em.
normally be served hot? Are they all hot, or some of them cold, sort of on?
So the potato and egg sandwich is more of a colder one. The rest and the prosciutto actually is a colder one too. So this is like shaved, really nice
How do
sand and
people
yellow.
react to cold eggs?
I don't know. I'm never around. I'm stuck back in the kitchen. So
All right, here. Why don't you start grabbing?
Okay, hold on. Can I get another paper towel?
Wait,
Could you get them to just eat
What-
something?
oh, that's bacon.
I'm gonna make sure they take a
Yeah, there's
bite,
bacon on there, of course.
just in case. I mean, they look like nice people,
Do
but
they?
I've met a lot of nice people that would poison you.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, Terry. If you were going to
Wait.
avoid everybody who's willing to poison you, you'd be
That's right.
alone.
That's why I'm saying give them a bite. Let's just see
Hold
if they'll
on.
eat
That's
it.
not like deli sliced turkey. That is like you made a turkey, right?
So we get is this allowed on the thing?
No.
No, it's not allowed on the thing.
No, but we have a cup.
Okay.
Although if it was, it's a great product. And if you'd like to send some to my
Really
home,
good.
We get whole turkeys in from a farm nearby, and we debone them, spread like herbs and all kinds of tasty stuff, roll it up, and then
Oh, wow.
cook it like a roulade or a roll.
Huh. So everything, are all the ingredients fresh and, you make the turkey like that?
Yeah, I mean
You make the meatballs? They're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Frozen
No.
meatballs?
But everything we can buy from the farm, a local farm, we do. At both restaurants, we pretty much use what the farm has.
there's another restaurant?
Yeah, the Lucky Accomplice, which is right next door, which is a bit different. We don't do sandwiches, but
Now, I thought that was a fancy place. Is that
it's a little
fancy?
bit. It's a little bit fancy. Yeah.
Have we been there? Did we do a?
We have
dinner
not,
there?
but I would like to go there.
We'd love
How
to have you.
fancy is it? I mean, would I have to wear a coat?
You wear whatever you want.
You can wear that.
I mean, I
No
mean,
dress code.
No,
when
there's
you
no-
say that,
Respect your fellow
you
diners.
say that's a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm just
No, but
It's-
sometimes the food is just elevated, is what you.
It's a little bit elevated. Yeah, it's a little bit elevated, but it's also a very chill. It's not pretentious at all. It's a fun, lively, chill kind of vibe.
I like that.
It's kind of nice because you can dress up, but you can also roll in. However, I mean,
yeah. And you're chef in there, right?
I'm chef in the bar. Yeah, we have so same kind of ethos for the bar program. Fresh ingredients, fresh citrus. We source whatever we can. If snap peas are in season, we'll make a snap pea cocktail.
Oh, you're in charge of the bar, and is this sort of like one of these real cocktail bars where you put a lot of effort into the craft?
I would say so, yeah. Less so at Press. Press, all of our cocktails are on draft, so it's going to be like familiar favorites, like an old-fashioned margarita, but just sourcing the same fresh ingredients on tap for speed and efficiency. And then at Lucky, a little more elevated. You'll find things a little bit left of center. But yeah, we work the same farm ingredients, and we try to incorporate that and kitchen techniques into the cocktails.
Awesome.
You know, a lot of our audiences, just excuse me, they watch the podcast to determine if they'd like to go into a particular career or maybe make a career choice. We have a large segment of our audience that's looking for work. Tell me about restaurants. What would you say? What is the best thing about restaurants, and what is like the worst thing about restaurants?
Man, that's such a loaded question.
First off, don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe to paint it with a broad stroke, like the ups, there's ups and downs and everything, and an ebb and flow to everything in life, but the ups and downs in a restaurant are maybe exaggerated. Sometimes it's great and it's a beautiful thing. A lot of time, most of the time it's great, but it can be rough. Like,
it's a hard business, right?
Yeah, it's a tough.
Every lawyer.
Yeah.
And maybe it's changed. When I was a young lawyer, every lawyer wanted to own a bar.
Well, there's something romantic about having a bar or a restaurant.
Until you own one.
It seems like people who don't own restaurants think, oh, I'll go in, I'll wear a white tuxedo jacket, I'll sign checks, for people that your meal's free, and but it's.
But if somebody wanted to have a table in your in your restaurant that was like known to be theirs, like the way Tommy Lasorda used to have a table at Charlie Gito's downtown. Is that something you'd entertain? And if so, what kind of sponsorship?
Everything's
would that take?
for sale.
Everything is for sale. Everything is.
All I would ask is that it be named after whoever we choose.
Is Corey for sale?
If it's and when we come in, the table's there waiting for us.
Corey, I'm sorry about that.
No. Even if we, have to
I saw your little face drop there when he said that.
Gotta pay rent.
Well, keep Corey. I like Corey.
I like Corey too, but everything has a price.
Yeah, like you said.
Have you considered naming any of these entrees after people? We always like to get things like. We want to have a special on there.
I don't feel like that's the vibe.
I would like a. Now, it may not be the vibe of that, but I mean, I could see.
I feel like the focus is on the food, not some jackass who sponsored a sandwich.
No, but I promise
dig in.
We will come once a month.
Yeah.
If we could get a sandwich named after us.
Yeah, of course. Whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, it's done. I'll do it
Sign
today.
in blood.
I like
this is the pork.
I
like pork. You can't.
Who doesn't like
Wait,
pork?
is that the prosciutto?
I guess
the porchetta?
The pork.
The only people who hate pork are pigs, I would guess.
Yeah.
Even they.
Right, how is it?
They get it.
You got the porchetta, yeah.
Oh, very good.
That one's number 2 in my power rankings.
These are really gourmet sandwiches.
They really are. This isn't. This isn't what you're going to get anywhere else.
No.
Have you ever had to ask anybody to leave?
Yeah.
The bar.
And what is the number one? If you had to, categorize, people leave because number one,
their dick.
Alcohol.
Disrespecting the staff and
really?
guests. Yeah.
We've definitely had to physically remove guests before that were,
mainly alcohol driven.
Yeah, I don't think that helped the situation at all, for sure. But yeah, that's part of the game. I mean, that's just kind of part of the thing. It's a big room with lots of people that come and go every night. Eventually, you're going to get somebody that has had too much and they're being a jerk, and they need to be asked to leave. And usually, it doesn't go over very well.
It feels like a setup, though. Hey, here's a bar. Yeah. You can drink as much as you want to pay for.
Yeah.
But then when you get drunk and act like it, get out.
It's you got to be an adult.
Right. No,
but
some people.
nobody ever likes being told to do anything. You tell people to
certainly
leave,
not.
you're going to get a lot of resistance.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It can.
And you just hope that you're bigger than they are.
Has anybody ever come to you and said, "You got a nice business here, and it'd be a shame if bad things started to happen," and wanted to shake you down
Like
for
protection money?
Yeah.
Geez, no, that sounds serious.
Would you like that to happen?
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Jerry's ready.
Maybe,
You're the first person I call.
maybe
that does
we're
that.
in the wrong business.
Yeah. I think so.
It's a different time. I
Open that
hate
up
to
a little
do
bit
it.
before you cut it up. Let me
Okay.
see what we're exactly.
You know what?
looking
We
at
should have
there.
gotten some more beauty shots.
What do we look?
This
I
is
see
egg.
potatoes.
That's the ugliest
Egg and
one.
potatoes.
Yeah, and
We
food
picked the
doesn't
wrong one.
always.
I don't see any egg. I see
It
potatoes.
looks better
You
than
know,
it tastes
Steven,
better than
you know
it
what we'll
looks.
do is at some point I tried to be very neat, and we'll open them up and get some beauty shots.
Tell us about this.
Get a
Because
candy
this is
sauce.
really out there. This is egg and potato.
I mean, not to correct you, but it's basically potato salad, which.
Okay.
yeah.
But listen, if it said potato salad, I would be all over
Yeah.
it. But what it
I mean,
says here
it's-
is potato plus eggs plus mustard vinaigrette.
Wouldn't that be
plus
egg
arugula.
salad? Like an egg salad?
Egg and
or
potato.
potato.
Yeah.
Potato and
Well, if
egg.
it's just a potato salad sandwich, I would try that.
You're about to.
I'm not
There you
anti-potato
go.
salad.
Who is the
there's a piece
genius
there,
here?
piece.
Who came
I
up
don't know
with the
why
menu?
you're cutting these
and-
slices so thin. You barely even get a whisper of it.
Because there's so much food.
When things
I know,
are
but
going well, it's always
too thin.
a
It's too thin. I
collaborative
can't
thing.
even lift that.
Corey, does he listen to you?
I
Is
can
he-
cut
so
you
you
a
guys
bigger
work
slice if you
together?
like.
Just to be able to lift it.
I don't have any advice to
can
give about the
lift.
food, but you trust me with the cocktails for sure.
No problem.
And
See, this is what happens.
There you go. You just lift and bite. Lift
what's your
and
most
bite.
popular cocktail?
Oh, that's good.
At the Lucky Accomplice, I make a cocktail from beet juice and peppercorn, a blue cheese squash vodka, and a dill-infused vermouth. And then I would say at
And
Press,
that's the most popular one?
I think so, yeah. That one's been in a few magazines.
You would have to really be.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
not a
not-
drinker,
No,
so
when you
I,
say- when
you
I
say-
want, if it's not sweet,
Can I
I
get one of those?
probably wouldn't.
Wait,
do
when
you,
you-
do
give me
you
the
like
whole
that
roll.
drink?
It's good.
When
It
you say-
sounds odd. That's the only
When you
thing.
say
It's pretty,
popular,
too. It's
are you
pink
saying
and-
like
that-
it is the one that sells the most, or it's the one that sort of
You
wins
like.
awards?
I would say
'Cause
it's
it's
the
unique.
one that people ask about the most. Sales-wise, I have like a barrel-aged Black Manhattan that's been on the menu since I started. That one probably does the best. It's the most identifiable on the menu.
Okay.
But I think when I take the beet cocktail off, there's a lot of people requesting for it
People
to be back
love
on.
beets, and you're one of them, Andy.
I
You
do
love
like
a
beets,
beet.
but beets are very controversial.
They
Are they?
are.
I don't know why.
Beets are
Oh,
It's
can it make
controversy.
your? Does it color your urine?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
it?
Well,
It's fun.
no, not your urine.
No, it's not the urine.
I'm sure we've talked about this previously, but
I don't think so.
And that's what, if we
When
wanted
you-
another moment where we lost whatever viewers we had left.
why do we
this
say
would be
that
the
every
one.
podcast?
We may have lost 100,000. What is that to us?
That's everybody plus 98,000.
I will not be creatively stifled. They don't want to listen. Don't listen. When you eat beets, for some reason the way they are processed, when you move your bowels next,
Oh, so it colors not your urine but your stool?
no,
God.
worse.
What?
It like colors the. It looks like there's a lot of blood in the water. Sharks go crazy for it.
Really? That's horrible.
But inevitably you forget about it because
No.
it's sort of 12
No,
hours.
that's
and you
where
look
I
down
disagree.
And you
That's
are
true.
horrified.
That's true.
And then
Really?
Just as you're calling
just as you're
911,
getting
you
to
dial
call the
911
doctor,
and you're like,
As-
wait a second.
As
Wait a
the
minute,
doctor
I
is
had
there
beets.
putting the
That's right,
mask
right.
over your face.
It really
Wait
is
a second,
true.
it might have been the.
Because there's enough distance, just enough distance that and I'm not saying for 20 minutes you're like thinking you're dying, but for a split second,
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Okay.
That's 100% true.
I have
Yeah.
a similar situation.
oh God, no, I, bet
thought
it's
this
not
was
that
going to be the
similar.
grossest thing in the episode. It turns out this
No,
was
it
the
was
most
nothing.
pleasant.
Here, give it to me. I want to chew it a little bit.
All right, I think
No,
we are on to
I
number
went-
5.
My
it's back to being the most
grandson
disgusting thing on the show.
had a 3-year-old birthday party, and they got a train for him, a cake train.
What's a cake train?
It was a cake that looks like a train.
Oh,
and
oh,
he had
a train
this
cake.
very thick. They got it at a place called Albertsons, which I don't know if they were known
That's a big
for.
shop.
that.
Yeah,
That's the
and we
prosciutto.
ate, and I love birthday cake.
Who doesn't?
And I ate
really
so
good.
much of this blue birthday cake.
Oh God.
Oh yeah,
That I was
your mouth and everything
pooping
else.
a brilliant, iridescent green stool for about 4 days.
Yeah, but
It took to clear it.
So I guess
birthday
it's-
cake you must
This
eat.
seems like a weird time to quit,
yeah.
and yet
We're just getting good, for God's
no,
sake. We're just
listen.
getting
Remember,
real with
I don't
the
think-
millions
I don't think they
around the
want
world. Oh,
their
I'm,
product
I'm
associated
taking
with
Mandarin
this.
lessons to speak to our
Oh,
Chinese
is that right?
audience.
Maybe the
yes.
only ones
I
left.
thought you were talking about the oranges.
No,
I think
I-
that's more likely.
No, we don't have an orange.
If you want to talk cake,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to get into it. I know it'll bother you because it always does. But if you have not watched The Food That Built America, they just did an episode 2 weeks ago on the history of Betty Crocker and Duncan Hines. Let me tell you, it was fascinating.
It does
I
not
had
bother
no
me.
idea who Duncan Hines really was to this country. Do you know much about Duncan Hines?
No. I mean, other than he had a very popular line of bakery.
He did, let me tell you, he was
mixing.
not a baker, and he had nothing to do with cake. But he was the guy who had developed a reputation for traveling the country and writing a book about the places you should eat at as you went. He was the original Zagat. And he'd go, and it was called like Good Eating on the Road. And you can look at it. I went and bought a 1955 edition of it. But he had established such credibility with
So
the
this
public.
was more the cakes were more of a spin-off of the
They
travel
weren't.
books.
Some guy who was trying to do some business for some local farmers who were making flour wanted to put out a competing product to Betty Crocker, and got an idea. It was maybe one of the first uses of a true influencer, and thought, you know what? If we approach Duncan Hines with this, his name has so much credibility in the food space that it would launch it. So they told him that he would have final say over any product that bore his name. So he agreed to do it. As soon as that product was released with his name, within 2 weeks he had 48% of the market share. That's how much credibility.
But wasn't
the
it
name Duncan
predominantly
Hines
bakery equipment?
kept. No, it's,
Or-
all, it's
it
cake
wasn't.
mix. Always cake mix.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It was
It's just a
primarily
mix.
baking stuff.
Yeah, it's cake mix is where it got started. You know, Betty Crocker, her version you only had to add water, and it was very successful. But his version you had to add a couple of
Egg
eggs,
and
which
stuff.
they thought was actually going to hurt. But as it turns out, actually gave people who were making cake the sense
Now
that they
you
were
may
baking it
you
from
may
scratch.
think this is silly, but I always thought she was hot.
Who?
Betty Crocker.
There's actually not a
Who
real Betty
doesn't?
Crocker.
Well, they had a picture.
Back in his
yeah,
day,
Whoever
there
the-
was.
I mean, I didn't date her or anything, but I
Now,
saw it. I go to the
Mrs.
saw her on Ed
Mrs.
Sullivan.
She
Mrs.
was
Fields
hot,
was
yeah.
a real person.
Who?
Mrs. Fields.
Wasn't
Oh
there
yeah,
some
she was
story-
good looking too.
She was.
Ron,
yeah, she-
as a matter of
very,
fact, they had
attractive woman.
a Mrs. Fields, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
For
They
a
did
while,
it.
yeah. You know, Mrs. Fields, they were the first cookie place that ever sold in malls, and not like in the food court, but like walk through malls.
They didn't have a Mrs.
They had cookies,
Fields. did they?
cookies and
they,
more.
They had their own.
No, Mrs. Fields was a real person.
no,
Yeah, she was a
I'm
real
saying
person.
Ron's stores were cookies, and more. Did he
Right.
also own a Mrs.
There was
Fields
some
at one point?
connection. I think maybe they maybe
Oh, no.
I think they
They-
sold.
They
Yes,
sold it to
that's
Mrs.
what it
Fields.
was.
There it is.
There
Little
you have
history
it,
there.
folks. We
And
got
Ed,
there eventually.
I don't hate when
started
you
with
bring
Blue
this
Poop.
stuff up. Don't mistake material that I am able to make fun of you about for me not liking it. I actually love
Listen,
it and find it
it is
fascinating. But
fascinating.
it's also fun.
It's a great show to watch because it covers two areas that fascinate me, which is business.
Yeah.
And it really is more a show about business because it's about competition and innovation and what happens when, two different giants kind of
Right.
compete for the same turf. But then it's also about food.
Yeah.
So between the two things, I mean,
are
it scratches
two-
right where I
yeah.
itch. It's a great show.
Will you be able to get Terry cake flavored grinds?
Yeah,
Well, you
that's
know
right.
what?
How many
the
milligrams?
closest they have now to it is the cinnamon roll flavor, which is
I
fabulous.
would guess
I'll bring
that
some
would
in
be
tomorrow.
You
I
guys
don't
didn't
know.
eat the prosciutto. Let's
Oh,
finish
have we
up
not? I'm sorry.
the thing. Stephen, I'll give you a few
And
glamour
then we have
shots
to
here if
kind
you
of-
want them.
Kind of rate them, right, in terms of.
We'll certainly talk
what we
about
liked
them.
best.
Let's see.
Well, these
That's
and I'll tell you
meatball.
this: these are wonderful young men
Look at
people
that.
running this
Yeah,
business.
for the people that think I don't actually eat anything anymore, I do eat. Not a lot.
So are you making a lot of
I
money?
think that's where you want to be.
Oh no.
no, I mean, Corey, is
Here
that
you go,
true?
Stephen.
or
Here's
is this
the
just a,
prosciutto.
Are you guys doing?
Nice
You're
looking
doing
sandwich.
Listen, it's a rough business.
It's a hard
business.
We're really pushing for that lunch crowd right now. So
No, they're
really,
dying, and everyone needs to go support them.
No, they're not.
come.
No.
I mean, you don't want to make it sound like they don't need the business.
They're nice guys. You
Plus
guys,
the protection money they're paying.
The food's good.
Well,
Yeah.
and Trader Bob's is next
Stephen,
door.
let me get you the
It's
turkey.
probably next to Iron Age.
that's
Trader
good.
Bob's is probably the most popular tattoo joint
Absolutely.
in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So, and they do a lot of walk-ins.
Yeah.
So here's a message to all of you. Next time you're going to go down to Trader Bob's for a tattoo, why don't you build in a little time and appetite to go over to Press? Because you know
right.
they're going to make you wait anyway.
And you can get it to go. I would.
You can.
Good to
And
go.
just in the time they're working on your stencil, you could
Let's
probably
see.
run over
Little
and have
pork,
a sandwich.
Stephen.
You think tattoos are getting more popular?
Way
or
more.
You think they're
Yeah.
expanding?
You don't think they've
Really?
peaked?
Wait, no.
As a non-tattoo person, I had thought they kind of had stabilized, but you're saying
Stabilized.
It used to be
You
kind
can't
of
even get in.
Yeah, it used to be kind of like, ooh, you got a tattoo, wow,
Transgressive.
and now it just kind of everybody's got a tattoo.
Well, that's what I
yeah.
said when you walked in. I said,
Stephen,
"Ooh,
let me
look at that."
hit you with the egg.
People are turning 18 every
I
day.
said,
and
I sure wouldn't eat a sandwich.
That is
if-
true.
No, you have nice tattoos.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's just seems to me to be just a lot of pain.
yeah.
Oh,
you,
I don't
you have
get-
to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a tattoo in a very long time.
No room left or no ideas?
Oh, I got plenty of room. I just don't enjoy it as much as I
Did
guess
you
I do.
see?
I think I got
what
hooked
is
on the
his
pain
name?
a little bit.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Didn't he just do something where he covered it all black, like from his midriff
Yes.
up to his neck?
Yeah.
I mean,
It sounds like a lot.
Was he covering up an old tattoo?
I think he
blacked
covered
it out.
up other tattoos. I don't know if that's
But
what
blacked out tattoos are also a thing.
They are a thing. Now, see, I worry about a trend within the thing.
Yeah.
There are a couple of trends in tattooing right now. There's a lot of fine line stuff that's happening now that's very hot. But that stuff you don't worry as much about because those tend to be very delicate, very pretty images. I'm concerned about just these big, like, I've seen people that tattoo their entire hand black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's, I don't know, that's a trend within a trend. I would avoid it. That
I don't
just
like
seems
the
very
hand.
permanent.
Sorry, go ahead.
Wait a second.
For some people, it's just covering up mistakes and things like that.
Right.
I think people get a lot of tattoos that they're not proud of.
Who's
They
got-
end up
who's
getting
got
Now,
more?
and that makes
You-
sense.
You or him? Who's got more?
It's a tie, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got one more, and now we're tied, and I'm quitting.
There you
What?
go.
Now, do
Really?
you have?
You're going to call it a draw?
Do you have tattoos below the waist, or are they mainly above?
Jesus, Tear.
No, I'm curious.
What are you asking?
My God.
No,
Who
I'm
brought
curious.
him?
I'm curious.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
Oh,
Now
really?
that includes the calves and
I
feet.
have
It's
a
not-
couple on the
it's
legs.
You know what?
not
I,
a creep.
here's the only
assure you.
tattoo I do not like.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I don't have tattoos.
God.
I don't like to see young women, attractive women, with tattoos on their chest.
Wait, what if they're not attractive? Then you're okay with it?
I don't think it's good
Well,
for anybody.
got
But
an
also
editor?
remember, this is just
no. It's even worse. You know, because
But this is
they-
like saying,
Yeah.
I don't like turkey. That's fine.
Okay,
Exactly.
That's all I'm
Turkey's
saying.
not for
oh,
everybody.
by the way, I don't like turkey.
No, he does. He
No,
loves
I don't.
turkey.
He loves
Hey,
turkey.
speaking of turkey, I am going to go, gosh, it's hard. I might go pork,
Oh, we're going
turkey,
to really do that?
meatball, prosciutto, egg salad, but
Potato
I mean
and
the
potato salad.
spread is not. It's not like one is way below the others.
But that's a hearty sandwich
for-
too. I
for
mean,
me-
not hearty.
I'm full.
It'll fill you up. You're not going to have to walk out of a place.
For me,
and
in the
think, I
number
need it.
5 slot, I have to go with the potato and egg only because I just don't like eggs.
But it wasn't very eggy.
No, but it was
You
for
know.
me. It was
Yeah.
for me. In the number 4 spot, I go with the prosciutto. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
The chili was there, but it was a little light.
I'm not a huge prosciutto fan.
For
in
me, the
general.
number 3 was the porchetta, the pork. That
was good.
Great flavors. Nothing wrong with that sandwich at all. I would order that. For me, number 2 is the turkey, which I don't see how anybody would be disappointed eating that. And but number 1 for me is the meatball.
It always is.
Listen, a meatball is maybe one of the greatest inventions in recorded
It
time.
is.
I mean, it is.
Penicillin or
It really
meatball,
I would listen. A meatball has gotten me through a lot more tough times than penicillin did.
Yeah, but
now in your situation,
no, let me tell you.
your time as a sailor, you might have done better with the penicillin than the meatball.
Right. When I was shipping up to
Tear?
Boston.
Give me your ranking.
You know what? Since COVID, I don't taste things that well.
So he loved them all.
No, but you know what? The meatball we had first. That's like you say, meatball, penicillin.
It's a great.
It's a great
6 of one.
It's a great.
Half a dozen of the other.
And it was a flavorful meatball. It wasn't just a ball of ground
all
beef.
the guests we have had here, you guys are certainly the best guests. I can say that with, I think,
First
no
two.
fear of kind. But you guys are great.
Well, I guess that's true. I thought he was joking, making it because in this series. But yes, we have had guests before. You're right.
I'm not.
Well, I was saying
not fooling.
I'll tell you,
this is season 1 of
now, let me say this.
the
now,
pod.
Ryan O'Reilly was one of the nicest people I've ever
really
met.
was.
And not
Very
just a nice
nice.
celebrity. He was a nice
guy.
person.
Yeah.
Darius Bradford, when he was on, that man made me laugh.
He's a funny
he
guy.
He is a funny guy, and you can't turn it off. It's not like he turned it on for the episode.
Wait, don't say. The minute I say they're the best guests, now we're going to talk about
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
That's all right.
But Darius Bradford, even just talking to him without the camera rolling, he was the same person and very, very funny
Which
guy.
I think is what it takes to be a successful comedian.
we
You just
should-
got to be funny.
We should hang out with him.
Can
more.
anybody,
We haven't
uh,
seen him since we were going to do something
Darius,
together. It never
Corey,
happened. Darius,
can I-
if you're
can I
watching,
get a
I wanna
ride
bring you back
home?
on.
Oh yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Is that right?
You just need a ride. I don't
Can I
know.
get one too?
yesterday,
my car,
And an adult diaper if you have one in the trunk.
Or just maybe a blanket I can sit on.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank
I
you
really
so- yeah,
appreciate you
thank
reaching
you for
out,
feeding us.
bringing this by. This was fun. This is really good.
And listen, I think we should encourage other local places that want to feature their food. It doesn't take much. I mean, you guys reached out, and we're like, hell's yeah, we want to try it. But I would love for us to try different food every time.
But will
So
you
you're
please,
begging for free food.
I'm begging for free
essentially.
food.
Please,
Listen.
would you, just for the audience, tell the name of your place, the address. You can throw in a phone number.
It's all
just
right here.
Yeah. Well, no, but most of the people on
but just
can't
in case
see
he
that.
can't, he doesn't remember.
I definitely don't know our phone number, but Press Pizza, Pasta, and Draft Cocktail Bar, 2509 South Jefferson and 44. Come check us out. I do want to mention, we didn't really talk about it, but we do have
We got 20 minutes. I'll
time.
talk about it.
the draft cocktails always kind of get maybe, left behind, but the draft cocktails we serve are awesome. The names are also hilarious, which
Oh, let's
Corey
read
is
these.
really...
Wait, does that mean you have a spigot, like a beer spigot?
A pull. Yeah.
You know what?
draft.
So the names are sillier at the Lucky Accomplice. They're kind of more identified.
I like if the booze fits.
Yeah.
That's a clever name, and that's got bourbon and Amaro and sweet vermouth, and fits is root beer, so local
Right.
root
Okay.
beer as well.
If the booze fits.
There you go.
FITZ.
Wow.
We've got here's a clever name, strawberry margarita.
Yeah, have you heard of
Maybe,
that?
maybe I oversold the name thing.
I
Maybe it's
might
just
have
the
oversold
first-
that one.
Strawberry what?
Margarita.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
that's-
I
well,
eat
that's-
my words now.
That's
No, they're named silly
that's
things
a
at the other
fruit
restaurant.
and a woman's name put
Yeah.
together. So
it's
strawberry
a very
margarita,
popular.
yeah.
That will be familiar to people. Then you have a Hemingway, which is rum and maraschino and cinnamon and grapefruit. But that's an odd combination. You had me until the grapefruit.
It's really good.
Grapefruit
A
and
lot of
cinnamon
people
are
like
excellent
that.
together.
You
That's
like
my
it?
personal
Really?
favorite cocktail.
But you have
Cinnamon and grapefruit.
Yeah.
But you
Natural-
have to
natural
watch out
bedfellows.
because grapefruit, if I'm not mistaken, will interact with many of your medications.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
weird,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, I
For
don't
the
need,
for the older audiences, for all
right.
of you in nursing
Wait, this
homes,
might be the most important thing that's
Be
come out
careful.
of this podcast.
Wait.
Nothing else. Has
Wait,
come
you're
out
going to
of.
ask us why it is, and you think it's important, and you think you're going to get an answer
Well, I'm just curious.
that's meaningful?
Well, maybe not
It
from you,
will,
gentlemen,
it
but
will.
from Logan and Corey. If you guys know, why does grapefruit, and is that just all citrus or just
for all
specific
of
to
you
grapefruit?
watching in medical schools, would you let us know
Yeah.
why the mechanism for it, why the grapefruit? But it
Let me see what I can find.
interacts with certain
I have heard that.
medicines, and it can make them not work. So you got to be
that's
careful.
fascinating.
But not at your place.
Why
Not
does
no.
grapefruit
Just
They
get
have
the
to
grapefruit
know. I
there.
mean, listen, if they're
you're not
drinking a
gonna live
Hemingway-
forever, for God's sake.
Yeah, eat the grapefruit. I love the let's taco about it. My daughter always makes fun of people with let's taco about it.
The
shirts, and
cleverness
you were,
of the names go
talking
up
about
and
that. She'll
down,
like
don't
the-
they? There's a lot
I
of
tell you,
Oh, wow.
You have a
Well,
passion.
you built built it up. So
I know.
I was waiting to hear gold gems.
This
come
is
out.
Now wait, this looks
And then
like
I
a good
get
drink.
strawberry margarita. What am I gonna say?
But I like this. Instead of a Moscow
It
Mule,
is a
she's got a
fruit.
passion fruit
It is a
mule
lady's
with
name.
vodka, ginger beer, passion fruit, and lime.
Yeah.
That I would drink.
So at
And
the
then
Lucky
there's that
Accomplice,
Banana
maybe it's-
Judith,
Yeah.
which is a funny
The
one.
names, strike that from the record, if you will. I learned that from a lawyer show.
Hey, no,
That's
yeah.
right.
That's good, right? Yeah.
Is Wisconsin OF?
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Okay, it's
okay.
old-fashioned.
Oh,
that-
that makes sense. Ed, would you like to know about grapefruit?
Yes.
In the general population, it is an inhibitor of the intestinal cytochrome P-450-3A4 system.
I knew it.
Which is responsible for the first pass metabolism of many medications.
Now, but we're okay with oranges because I don't eat grapefruit.
Yeah, I think
I only
there's
Googled
I think
grapefruit.
it's grapefruit.
I don't know. If you give
But
me a list
again, I'm
here,
not a doctor. Please don't take that.
Now,
as
there's one other drink on
medical.
here I want to ask about is the Pai Tai, because that is a clever name. And you've got a rum blend, and you've got orange and lime. But what is this other thing? What is
Orgeat.
Orgeat? What is that? I don't know what orgeat is.
Traditionally, it's like making almond milk. You would take almonds, blanch them, blitz them with water, turn it into a milk, add a little bit of cognac, amaretto, and orange blossom water.
yeah, nothing. You just
Well,
whip
now,
that
I
up.
noticed in a lot of drinks they have egg white.
Yeah, it's kind of an
sounds so
old-timey
disgusting
thing.
to me.
It is.
Does it give a little foam or something?
It does. It'll leave you like a collar on top of your cocktail, but it also adds like a body to it and kind of rounds it out. I don't use that because I think it's gross. It's a little volatile. It makes your drinks kind of smell like wet dog, and your shaker tins are gross. So we use just like natural herbs and roots that create the same effect. It'll give you that nice round mouthfeel, give you a nice collar on your like sours and things like that. But it's
I've
also
never
vegan
s-
friendly.
Do you ever
I've never
use any of
smelled
the
a wet
smoke?
dog that smelled that?
Where you lift up
Well, you've had
the
good
thing
dogs.
and the
I
smoke
know, they
pours
really
out?
have.
I think that's
Goldie
been
was a
done
big
enough.
hit,
They
yeah.
do a great job with
Yeah,
that at Tenderloin Room. But we
Do you sell absinthe?
Do I? Yeah.
The real?
And is there is a real absinthe, and is it do anything like it's rumored to do, that it caused madness? And
I think
Blindness and madness.
yeah, I mean, isn't
the
it a-
absinthe, years and years and years ago that was the case. But now when they import it into America,
it's just called absinthe.
like the
It's-
wormwood and the thujan and things like that. They will omit from the absinthe.
But can't you get that in certain countries, the real absinthe?
For sure. Yeah. You can still get it in
What was
Europe.
that, like a Hunter S. Thompson
do
thing?
you know enough to
it's
distill alcohol on your own?
Can you
if
make
it
your
was,
own
if it, yeah,
absinthe?
if it was out,
Can we get real absinthe?
I'm just saying,
from
if we
you?
had prohibition come back,
Yeah.
and you had to make bathtub gin or moonshine,
Yeah.
do you have enough expertise to do that?
I could do that.
Oh, I could do that.
Once
You
when-
make moonshine?
Sure, you look on the internet. How hard can it be?
Listen, you know what? I don't
You
know.
can make
I
an
haven't
atomic
looked on
bomb
there.
online.
Oh,
How hard
edit
could
that
There
that
hasn't
out.
been a
I
moonshine
want no part of that.
episode yet of the food that built America.
That's right. Well, it's coming. Season.
you had a guy
six.
at that party out in Illinois that made you
Yeah,
some
he made
homemade
it, and he
moonshine.
did it. Put it in beautiful
and that's
little
why his
bottles.
glasses are so thick.
No, I can't. I mean, I couldn't taste it, but people.
None of us
drank.
drink.
We don't. Yeah, we're not.
I mean-
not for any religious reason. We just happen to not enjoy alcohol.
Oh wait, you don't do it for a religious
No.
reason?
I don't follow anything.
I
It's-
do it for religious.
I shouldn't say we don't drink. We're not drinking.
almost
Never
Wait, who's
drink.
me? Why do you look at me?
Well,
It's
because
not
what was
like we're
going through my
anti-alcohol,
head.
like we couldn't have an
I'll have
occasional
a
drink.
No,
drink
what I
now
was
and
thinking
then.
is maybe
I have
you
less than
don't
5
drink,
drinks
but
a year.
but you will have a strawberry
will.
daiquiri
Yeah,
once a
something,
year or
yeah.
Pina
something.
colada, will you have that?
Yeah, I'll have
Oh,
anything
I got a
that tastes
non-alcoholic
like
pina
a.
colada on the menu at the Lucky Accomplice. We have a beautiful array
pina
of
colada,
non-alcoholic.
yeah.
Well,
cocktails.
sip it
have
in your booth.
I'll have a drink that a child would drink.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean-
Wait,
we're not real
we're not
drinkers.
giving
Not
alcohol to
alcoholic
children.
pina
This podcast is
Well,
going off the
I
rails.
had a nephew that
Quickly.
was a terrible alcoholic at 7. It was just-
Somebody's going to call the police.
that
Okay, guys. I
Oh, to all the police out there, I want
Yeah.
to say hello. We have thousands and thousands of police departments all over North America that listen to this podcast.
and all they
so-
need is to police what you are. I don't know. I'm sure you're checking IDs at your place.
What are you
and,
talking
we
about?
really
Every-
need
Every
that.
6 or 7 people will
There you
ask
go.
for an ID.
Let's go.
There you
All right,
go.
guys.
It's
Well,
random
thanks so
on
much.
my
do you
check.
have
Oh, you want-
people
we're-
coming
we're
in?
good.
Do kids come in with phony IDs?
No, rarely.
Not in their place? No.
Not for $18.
Andy,
That's it.
my son Andy, who couldn't be with us today.
No, I'm right here.
Oh, good. He used to have, remember your ID?
Yeah.
With the picture that was taken outside, there was a tree in the back?
Yeah, well, the way they used to do it is they'd get a piece of poster board, right? And then they'd cut out the section where your head is, and, they'd put a name or whatever. And we were not master photographers.
Very smart.
So there was like a shadow on it, but you kind of hold the poster board up here so your face is where, on an ID, and they'd take a picture and laminate it. And
how are they doing it today? I mean, the IDs have gotten very, very complicated.
I don't know.
I mean, in my day, you just hoped to have an older sibling that looked enough like you that you could use their license. And I could see it. Listen, there's no way around that, right? That's still a thing. Because how would you know otherwise?
Right.
But what do they do? How are they making fake ones? Because now they put the light on there and you could see
A friend of mine just told me that his son got one, and I was asking him, where'd he get it, blah, blah, blah.
$1,000?
I don't know what it was, but I think he got it, and I don't want to name the name of a site, but I think you can get them online.
Can you get the real IDs so that you could fly with it? Because that's a pain in the butt.
Here's the
to
problem.
get.
Here's the thing I always wonder about fake IDs. After September 11th, I wonder if having a fake ID, which went from a nothing...
big crime now?
Yeah, I would bet if you're 18 and have one that says you're 21, it's probably not great, but it's probably different than if you or I having one.
Because
then you're like,
if you had a
what are you
fake
doing?
ID
if
now,
they catch you with a bomb in your backpack, you're in real
and if you
trouble
put the
with
two
it.
together, I mean, that's enough to convict.
I had a friend who took a fake birth certificate many, many years ago, went to the DMV, got an ID, got a passport, and then when he got speeding tickets, he would just give them that one. So there was no record and they could never do anything to him. But you can't do that, man.
No, they've made
the
it
good
really
old days.
hard to get away with stuff.
With a really good Xerox machine and some really good paper, you can make great $20 bills. You know that?
Yes,
and if people, if it's late at night, people take them and
they won't.
No.
How many crimes can we commit on one?
This is not.
We're attorneys. We're supposed to be doing
so let
the
me ask you
opposite
this:
of
now
this.
that O.J. Simpson is dead,
that was
I hear
weird.
now that he's gone.
I was surprised.
Who is going to be out there looking for the murderer? Because I know he had sworn he was going to look.
I think he probably put a lot of money in his will to keep the search.
It turns out he was in the mirror.
He only promised to look until the day he died.
That's it. He fulfilled his promise.
The burden is over. Yes.
You know what's interesting though? It's possible that he did not do it. If you watch that trial, and I watched it religiously,
we all did.
You were a lawyer and understood about reasonable doubt. The fact that they found him not guilty was not that surprising.
No. If you based it on just what the jury saw, the verdict was not surprising. Right. If you based it on all of the collective information that the public had access to.
Remember, though, you had that, I don't remember his name, the police detective that is now a big.
He was terrible.
I mean, if that was a lot
Mark
of
Furman, that's right.
I don't want to say a name because I don't know anything. All
Furman.
I'm saying though is, if he was as portrayed, you would not want to convict anybody on any evidence he had anything to do with.
But what about when O.J. wrote the book, If I Had Done It, and then gave in remarkably specific detail.
You know what?
A moment-by-moment account.
He was a man who was used to making a lot of money, who immediately lost all his sources of revenue. And if somebody came to him or you in that situation and said, write a book like this, you make it a little sexy about the title, you'll make a lot of,
But I thought the money went to the civil judgment. I don't think he got to keep the money.
I don't think he did it
I don't remember.
before that happened.
Yeah, I don't remember if he got that money.
Because why would he do it? Why would he write a book at all?
Listen, I have no idea, except maybe to clear his conscience.
No, but I'm just saying it's not... While I would say it's a high probability that he did do what they say, I think there is a possibility.
Well, but that's like anything. Sure.
No.
Is there a small chance he didn't do it? Of course there was.
I
wouldn't that be terrible, though? How
year,
terrible would that be?
He went through a year trial.
If let's say it all came out and he didn't do it, Would we all? I mean, I wouldn't really feel that bad because it's not like I did anything. But that said, do you think that there would be it would be a blip, right? People don't care. They only care when they could take somebody down. They don't feel guilty if they took an innocent person
No,
down.
probably not. I mean, but it happens all the time. I mean, look at things like the Innocence Project. You know how many people are convicted and at times executed, and some of them absolutely did not do it.
You know, I think what I'm going to do on my deathbed is confess.
To what?
To the murder.
To that murder?
To clear OJ's
To clear
name.
just for fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not?
What else can you confess to solve a few?
I'm a little concerned
Let's
about.
close a few cases. What else can
I'm
are you willing?
concerned about how this may
Hoffa?
impact the business. I don't know. I'd prefer you not if it's all the
that's
same.
right. You know, I hope you guys.
We may have to take you out
What other
before
great
it's time
unsolved-
if you're going to do that.
What other great unsolved mysteries? Obviously, there's Jimmy.
D.B. Cooper?
Yeah, I was D.B. Cooper.
Are you D.B. Cooper?
Man, I can't say now.
You know what? That'll be the teaser. Is Terry Crouppen D.B. Cooper?
Dun 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 dun. Is
not.
he?
He doesn't have
They
those
made a
kind of
movie
skills.
about that, right? He escaped. He jumped
Several.
out of a plane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
He probably
you
just
kidding?
splattered on the ground.
Well, that's what they said.
Jen,
he
do we
jumped
have,
out at the plane. I think there was a.
Do you have any other topics that we
parachute.
want to make sure we address
he had a parachute,
today?
but apparently he
No?
They used to have a back stairway that opened up, and they opened that up, and I guess they slowed the plane down. But I mean, he jumped out at hundreds of miles an hour over rocky, mountainous terrain. And didn't they found some of the money eventually, and they found they found
They didn't find
money.
him.
They didn't find.
You think he's dead?
well, he's
I
dead
would
probably
think he
now. This
probably-
is a long time ago.
Right.
But I think he
D.B.
survived
Cooper
that.
was a very famous guy.
You guys,
who,
you don't.
one
You
of the
see that you're a
first-
young man. You don't know. You don't know.
No, I'm just stupid.
He was one of the first people, I think, to
my-
hijack an airplane. And he hijacked an airplane, and I guess he knew there was money on the airplane, and ended up.
He asked for money.
He asked for money as part of the ransom.
Yeah, he
hijacked it, asked for money for the
And a
ransom, and then I
parachute.
guess in a parachute. The plane takes off again. He jumps out the back with the money.
They used to have a
was this, in the
stairway
70s?
that you could
Yeah, where
in
it could
flight
kinda go down.
open up, which they led to a lot of changes. And
70s maybe.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And was never heard from again.
You'll hear him
forget
referenced in
who's
like
the actor that played
sitcoms
him.
here and there.
The actor that played him was
Do you know
also
who
in
Bob
8 Men
Hope
Out.
is?
Yeah.
Bob
Okay.
Hope.
But you
Yeah.
said that with a little bit of a pause.
Who
like
was
you weren't
Bob
really
Hope?
certain.
He's the Price is Right guy, right?
The what?
No, that's Bob
No.
Barker. Oh, Jesus.
No, and I'm not trying to make you my
'cause you're
children.
young.
Bob Hope at one time
Was the most famous human being
was
in
the
the world.
most famous entertainer
In the world.
Yeah, he was.
Strike that from the record.
Famous fleeting.
No, I'm not serious. I'm not trying to make it look
No,
dumb. People your age, how old are you?
39.
Yeah,
so
people
you
your
wouldn't
age.
know.
You don't know.
You
anything.
But there are probably plenty of people who who are very famous who you've never heard
Well,
of.
let's
true.
try it.
Give him one of these young upstarts.
No,
that
it's
he'd
somebody
never hear.
famous. I told
somebody
you
famous.
somebody
He
famous.
doesn't-
Lil Uzi.
Lil Uzi.
Lil.
Yeah.
Lil Uzi.
Lil. Lil.
Yeah, but
Meaning
like with a little
like
apostrophe.
little.
Lil,
Little
but
Uzi.
Lil.
No, I have no
Lil
idea.
Uzi Vert. It's supposed to be
Oh, yeah,
sound
that's the
like
guy.
Lucifer
Oh wait, he didn't get it right.
if you say it
Even
fast.
you didn't know him. Jeez.
I have a 13-year-old son, and you guys know more about millennial culture than I do.
No, it's.
See, yeah, I don't. I didn't know who Lil was it. Lil,
I've
I'm not
never
sure.
heard. I've never
Lil,
heard.
Lil,
of it.
somebody.
Lil Uzi Vert, and if you
No
say it
idea.
fast, it sounds like Lucifer.
Yeah, no,
I think it's
I'm
part
far
of
more
it.
likely
Lil
to
Uzi
know
Vert.
people
Do
from
you
way
think
back
he knows
than the
it
people
sounds
today.
like Uzi the Machine Gun too?
I think he may have.
He knows.
Bob
Yeah.
Hope
made that
hosted
connection.
the Oscars more than any other
18
comedian ever
times.
did it. He was
18
known
times.
for touring during wartime and visiting the soldiers and entertaining the troops.
He was a star of stage,
He lived to
screen,
100.
and television.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a radio. He was big on radio. And the reason I mention him is I met him once on a street in New York, and he was, I was thrilled. And now I try to tell a
How was
story.
he?
Oh, he remember
Not
in New
thrilled.
York they'd set out like a wooden pallet, and they'd put like this. There were hats. Some guy selling hats on.
Bob Hope
and
was
I'm
selling hats?
no, I'm looking at the thing, and I look up, and he's there with some other guy, and I said, "You're Bob Hope." He says, "Yeah," and he was very nice, but he was. You can't
Now-
imagine. He was Tom Hanks
Yeah.
and Mick Jagger
Well,
and Elvis.
and I'm
all
I'm going to
combined.
close this loop by letting you know he also made a series of films with Bing Crosby.
Yeah, the
the
road
road
movies.
movies. Bing Crosby was the #1 box office star in the mid-40s for 5 consecutive years, was the biggest star in Hollywood. As a result, coming back to the food that built America, Minute Maid orange juice, that was, they didn't know how to sort of launch this before Coca-Cola bought them. They were the first company. They had no money, and they got the idea that if they could get Bing Crosby to endorse their orange juice, that the Housewives of America would make. Remember how Minute Maid used to come in a frozen can? But here's the thing: they had no money to pay him. It's the first time in recorded history that a company did a stock exchange.
Oh, he got a piece of the action?
He got a piece of the action. And he was before Michael Jordan was Bing Crosby. He would plug the hell out of that Minute Maid. He did all the commercials.
So did he die a very wealthy man?
Very wealthy man. He was already wealthy, but he had a good piece of Minute Maid. And it was only shortly thereafter that Coca-Cola bought Minute Maid. So you can imagine what happened to his stock then.
Interesting.
But it just goes to show you, like, we treat these things like they've been around forever, but the idea of getting an
There's
influencer,
nothing new.
There's nothing new. Nothing new under the sun.
No, it really isn't.
Except for pizza sandwiches.
Except for pizza sandwiches.
They aren't really
There's one
sandwiches.
thing new.
There's
Wait, you said they were sandwiches.
I think they
They're
are.
absolutely sandwiches. What do you call them?
Well, we call them pizza sandwiches.
But then he immediately says,
pizza sandwiches.
But what do you say immediately after that?
That's not really
It's not really a sandwich.
Geez, drop that part.
You know what-
Just
you know
say
what
it's
the
a
greatest-
pizza
Stick,
sandwich.
stick with pizza.
It's a pizza.
It's not really a calzone.
Calzone
I
may
think-
be a pizza sandwich as well.
Doesn't the bread kind of play almost like a Soman bread or a pita?
Yeah. Yeah, for
more
sure.
like that.
But just say
Yeah.
this whole conversation and substitute stromboli
Like a lavash.
for calzone.
You know
And
what I
it's a
could
much-
see?
But it's a much better.
Have you
That's a
experimented
difference
with
between a
like
stromboli?
falafel
wouldn't be
or
open like that.
shawarma?
Stromboli is like
We've done that before at one of
Yeah.
our restaurants, but not for this. But it's a good idea, yeah.
I feel like the bread would lend itself.
I don't know.
Falafel's tough, although the meatball works.
Let me ask you a question about sausages.
Hey, you want to stay
Yeah.
another hour?
Let's talk
And
sausages.
let's close on sausages, but let me ask
Yeah.
you this.
When it gets dark.
Where can you get the best like sausage or sausage sandwich in a restaurant, not a grocery store or a market here? 'Cause I
Like
know-
Sazitza?
Yeah, like a nice Italian, like you get at
I'll
Yankee
bet you-
Stadium
I'll
with
bet you-
peppers and onions on a hoagie roll
I
with
bet
a nice
you you're
Bet you it's
within
somewhere in this
half a
neighborhood.
mile of
Yeah.
where
I know
we-
that's why we're
But
on the hill.
Adriana's has a nice one.
You know,
no?
today we're
Maybe, I don't
broadcasting
know.
from the hill,
Yeah.
To
King-
all of you
King Sale
people
folks.
out there in California.
From the Brown and Crouppen Studios.
And Thailand. You know, we got a lot of people in Thailand watch this thing.
Only
It's
that
incredible.
woman that you spent that
China
one magical
down.
weekend with. That was the only one we had there, but
It
she's
was wartime,
significant.
Ed. It was a different time.
I needed a shot.
Yeah, listen, I get it.
needed a shot.
That's why you prefer
I-
penicillin to meatballs.
That's true.
Me, I prefer meatballs. Anyway, I think we should call it a wrap.
Thanks, guys.
It's kind of
appreciate
sad.
it.
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
coming.
it.
Thanks for
Sandwiches
coming
are
down.
great.
Thank you for the
Fine
sandwiches.
guys. Fine guys.
I wish.
feel
Do we have
free
any
to bill
merch
us.
or anything to give them? They brought us something. I feel like we
do.
should give
We've got
them
merch.
something.
Here,
What do we have for
Okay.
Don't
Where
we
you-
have like get out of jail free cards?
Yeah.
That we. Can I get a few of those?
Yeah.
But
They're on
they're
the
very
front desk.
restricted.
What are you
to
reaching
very
in?
few jails. Anybody got $5? No, I need some cab fare to get home.
You could walk home from here.
Could, but won't.
It's longer. Yeah, it's longer.
You know,
It's about a
And you know,
15-minute
Do you
walk.
legitimately need a
We're
ride?
gonna save it for the next.
Before your knee replacement.
Yeah.
I feel like you walked more than anybody I knew.
I'm
Since then,
getting-
you walk less than
No, he-
anybody
no,
I know.
no one walks less
I'm
than
doing
you do.
7,000 or 8,000 steps.
Yeah,
a
that's
day.
true. I mean, I wasn't counting myself.
Right.
I'm doing 7,000 or 8,000 now. I'm back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's not the old Terry.
No,
It
I
used
was
to be
10,
10.
11.
But I feel like if you're at 8, 10's just a stride away.
You're right.
Let's get you back to 10K Terry.
I think so.
10K Terry.
10K
you know, what? All you
Terry.
gotta do is
10K Terry.
nobody
I
give
like
him
it.
nobody give him $5.
Give
That's the
him a
key.
T-shirt.
Or
we
hold
need
it out in front of him.
Do we have a T-shirt?
What's that?
Do you have a T-shirt?
No,
Jen's getting
Jen
stuff.
went to
Give
get
him the
them some
T-shirt
goodies.
you're wearing. Give me your shirt. You know what? I have worked my way out of my shorts.
We're gonna put a cocktail on the press menu
Yes.
called 10K Terry,
10K Terry. I like it.
and
Like
a
something
portion
with
of the
Red Bull,
proceeds
maybe?
will go to Brown and Crouppen.
What?
No, don't give it to us. We
need-
no, but give it.
Hey, shut up. We'll take
No, we're not gonna
it.
do it.
You know, which
10K
part are you
Terry.
not going to do?
Don't
The
take
cocktail
Terry
or the
for Terry any
proceeds?
money.
You
He'll
maybe
take
like
it.
some Red Bull in it or something, a real pick me up.
Yeah.
Or some caffeine. I don't know.
The Herminator. It's my last name.
The Herminator?
The Herminator.
Okay.
You can come up with something good.
I absolutely.
What do you like? What would you like in your perfect? Even though you don't drink, like what would you like in your perfect?
Name some flavors.
I would say this.
Terry
We were 10K
cocktail.
too.
I would like lemonade.
Lemonade.
Oh, he
Yeah,
likes
I would
lemonade.
like
an electric
Frankly,
lemonade?
yeah. I mean, anything.
You
That,
know what,
Like a
actually,
freckled
features
lemonade, like at the
lemonade.
Red Robin?
Yeah, that'd be good.
He
yeah.
likes.
But
my
spike it.
kids would say,
orange. Yeah,
orange sherbet.
Yeah, I like orange sherbet.
Maybe like a cocktail with ice cream in it.
or a orange.
You know what? A diet orange Sunkiss.
orange
Yeah,
Sunkiss.
Nothing in
Orange.
it. But
And-
maybe a little ice.
Hey,
If you could
spilling.
That's the Terry.
We're spilling now. You know, we have guests coming next week. We're going to have to do this.
That's
whole
right.
Oh,
thing.
no,
And-
I've got
And
this.
if
You know
you
what's
could mix
interesting?
in somehow a little
Everybody
Chinese
left.
food,
We have no
somehow,
crew.
it's kind of
True.
sweet and
We're
salty
desperately waiting
somehow.
for somebody to tell us it's over.
Yeah,
Shoot us.
10K
Jen
Terry.
comes
How
in
does-
with a gun and
How does
shoots
this end?
us.
Yeah, this
right.
is what I think our producer needs to be
Every
more
did
keenly
he?
aware.
Is he
Anyway,
even here?
for those of you who maybe actually hung
He
out to
fell
the end,
asleep.
and I suspect it's probably just my mom, possibly my son, because he'll tolerate
Hi,
just
Mrs.
about
Herman.
anything. But anyway, thank you for tuning in.
Arlene.
Make sure to follow us on all of the social platforms, and whenever you get your podcast, you're obviously getting this somewhere. Let your friends know. They can listen. It wouldn't kill them.
And
you
you know-
had to listen to it. Why shouldn't
Or
they?
you know what? If you love it so much, keep it a secret. We have millions of people watching. And Arlene, what is it?
Arlene, call me.
Arlene?
Oh, and
That's my
goodbye,
mother.
Arlene, wherever you are.
Wherever you are. There she is. She's in Boca Raton.
That's a nice place.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, Arlene.
You guys ever been to Florida?
I have not.
You've
Never been to Florida.
I was born in Louisiana. I've never been to Florida.
You mean
Wow.
we're doing this? We're in the 58th minute, and we just find out you've never been to Florida?
Wow.
That's really interesting.
It's
to me.
Maybe
very
we'll put a
nice.
press down there.
Huh?
Maybe we'll put a press down there.
There are probably places it could do well. Have you been to Florida?
I have.
Okay.
Where?
Boca?
Yeah, one of those
Were you
places.
a hostage?
You know where they have a beach.
No Disney.
You were kidnapped as a
You
child?
seem like a destined.
There's
kind of-
water
no
around,
Disney?
and
Yeah.
you know.
Swimming
right,
pools,
listen.
son.
We will see you all later.
Thank you.
But
Goodbye.
Who's gonna turn off the camera? Is there
I know,
any,
Steven's
is
sitting
anybody,
over there like
Steven,
an
what
oil
are you
painting.
doing?
Jen disappeared completely.
I think she went to
Bye, Saga.